Let's talk about the security policy, this overarching policy that every IT department must have. It covers things like how our firewall is going to be set up and what's our backup plan, what's our recovery plan, who's responsible for various things. I'd like to show you an example. I keep going to the wrong one. An example here, well, not an example of a policy itself, but a template put out by the SANS Institute of a policy. And you can see here that we cover things like email and ethics and pandemic response, password construction. So lots of different areas here in general. Under network security, acquisition and remote access policies, router and switch security policies. So we know if a technician goes out, they know what the company standards are for how to set up that switch. Server security policy, and so on, application security, web application, then old and retired, well, there's a whole bunch of them here. Virtual private network policies, extranet policies, dial-in, and so on. So this is one way that we could set up a security policy. It's going to call out such things as who is responsible for doing certain things in the case of a disaster, as we talked about in the last section, and who's responsible for daily backups and things like that. So all of that is called out in this nice security policy. One big one is the acceptable use policy right here. Acceptable use policy says, well, what are my users allowed to do and not to do? Now, it's not going to stop them from doing something that they're not allowed to do, but if you don't have an acceptable use policy in place, you cannot convict them or fire them if they violate the policy. So you have to have some teeth in that in your actions as an employer. Well, it's pretty interesting stuff, and it's pretty all-inclusive, as you can see. It's usually a fairly large document and pretty inclusive document, and not that difficult to construct when we have so many good templates out there.